Once upon a time, a king had 4 wives. He lived in a place with all of them together, but he loved the 4th wife the most. She was the youngest one. He adored her with new jewels and riches all the time. He used to spend most of his time with her. The 3rd wife was the most beautiful one. Whenever the king visited another kingdom, he always took his 3rd wife along with him. He loved to show off his beautiful wife in front of his friends. The 2nd wife was very different. She was kind and patient with her decisions. She was the most intelligent and wisest one. So whenever the king had trouble making any decisions, he used to run to his 2nd wife. He always trusted her instincts and followed her advice. The 1st wife was the oldest among the 4 wives. She had a wrinkly face and she was slow because of her age. But she was always loyal to the king. She was a faithful woman all her life. She took care of the king's wealth and health. But the king rarely gave her his time. He was too ignorant towards her because the rest of his wives were more beautiful. One day, the king became sick with a rare disease. No medicines could heal that disease. He laid on his bed all day long. He knew that he had very little time left to live. He was really worried about dying. He thought to himself, I had 4 wives to take care of me all these years. But when I pass away, I'll become all alone. He wondered if any one of his wives can accompany him to his death. He loved the 4th wife the most. So he called her and asked, My lovely wife, will you follow me to death when I pass away? I don't want to be left alone in the afterlife. The 4th wife didn't even care to answer and left the room. The king was heartbroken. He called his 3rd wife and said, My beautiful wife, I took you to all the places with me. Will you follow me to the afterlife? The 3rd wife answered, Your demands are out of limit. I'm too young and I have a whole life to live. And she left the room. The king called the 2nd wife. You were always there when I faced any problems. I trusted you always. Can I trust you to follow me when I die? The 2nd wife refused straight away and left the king. The king was about to pass away. The 1st wife came by herself to the room and said, I'll go with you wherever you go. The king looked up and saw his 1st wife standing next to him. She wasn't looking healthy herself. The king saw at her and realized how he had ignored this woman for years. He never took enough care of her. Yet she is the only one who's ready to follow him even after death. This is the reality of life. We all have these 4 wives in our life. The 4th wife is our body. We cover our bodies with precious jewels and expensive clothes just to look good in society. Yet, we leave our bodies behind when we pass away. The 3rd wife is our wealth. We like to show it off to everyone in society just to feel proud of ourselves. But in the end, we leave all our wealth behind. The 2nd wife is our friends and relatives. We always run to them for help and advice. But in the end, we also leave them behind when we pass away. It's not their fault, but they can only stay with us until the grave. So who's the 1st wife in our life? The 1st wife is our soul. While we focus on jewels, wealth and people around us, we forget to focus on our souls. In pursuit of looking good in society, we forget what our soul is. Yet it is the only thing that will stay with us always. Our spiritual being will always exist. In pursuit of other pleasures, we still forget it. Focus more on your soul. Cherish it. Keep it happy and strengthen it. Feed it daily with a daily act of kindness and happiness.